إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد وبعد. Respected viewers, listeners, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We continue with our series, and as we're coming to the end of the month of Ramadan, quite sadly, for a number of reasons, we are also coming to the end of our series, Beautifying with Beautiful Deeds, and the whole point of the lectures that have been delivered was so that we could beautify our character through the beautiful deeds that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed upon us. Iman was one, Salat was one, Zakah, Hajj, Sawm, Quran, and so on and so forth. Very important at this point to mention that the one place where me and you, and every person whose spiritual development takes place, his physical, his mental, his psychological development takes place, is the home. And part of beautifying one's character is the importance of being raised in a house or a home which is beautiful as well. And Allah mentions in the Quran, وَاللَّهُ جَعَلَ لَكُم مِّن بُيُوتِكُمْ سَكَنًا, that it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has made for you your homes places of sakan. Sakan in Arabic means peace and tranquility. And there are many other places where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala refers to the home as being sakan. وَاللَّهُ, or rather, وَمِنْ آيَاتِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. لِتَسْكُنُوا. Okay, Eli, you find a second with your spouse. Now, there are many names for the house in Arabic, one being dar, one being bait. Bait is a place where you sleep at night, and sakan is one where you find peace at night. So, if we look at a lot of the problems that we have in our families, the root cause is the lack of Islam in the home. How can one beautify his character? Through the beautiful deeds that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam showed us, when there is none of that taking place in the home. So in the few moments that we have, I wanted to mention a number of things that would help us to beautify our home and to protect our homes as well. Protection is also very, very important as well. I mention protection because nowadays the lack of privacy no longer exists in many homes, and that is because of the social media and people who regularly post things, and they have vlogs and so on and so forth, and for different kinds, and people can see now what's happening in the homes. And homes are places of privacy to a certain extent as well. What happens in your home, nobody needs to know. The world does not need to know. The good news that happens is for you and your family is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't show it to the world. Show gratitude to Allah for that favor. So one of the first things is that when we have the lack of Islam in our homes, the lack of Quran and the Sunnah, then that will be the root cause of our problems. You look in our homes, we've got domestic violence. Okay, and domestic violence is gender neutral. It's not just women being beaten up. There are men being bullied from their wives as well. Again, lack of understanding. People don't know Islamically the relationship between a husband and wife, what it is. It's something spiritual. A husband and wife who married under the name of Allah. The one thing that united them and made them lawful was Allah's command to marry. And at the time of marriage, what was prayed? Allah's name was prayed. Allah's Quranic verses, Allah's Kalam, Allah's Quran was prayed. And those Quranic verses, those Sunnah verses that were prayed, what do they remind me and you of? Those of you who are married will remember. The Imam prayed certain verses like Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullaha haqqa tuqatih. Ya ayyuhannasu ittaqu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum min nafsin wahidah. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullaha wa qulu qawlan sadida. Fiya Allah, fiya Allah, fiya Allah. The middle one is very important. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام. تساءلون به والأرحام. You'll be questioned about those who are connected to you. And we don't know this. The wife who's not treated well, the husband is not respected well. And go back to the Sunnah, go back to the Seerah, read the Seerah. How did the Prophet ﷺ behave towards his wives? How did the wives behave towards the Prophet ﷺ? They were normal humans as well. The Prophet ﷺ had disputes with his wives. There's no doubt. We find that there was an incident with Aisha radhiyallahu anha and Abu Bakr. I've mentioned it before. But the love they had in their marriage, and this is the love Allah talks about in the Quran. وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. That Allah puts between them wudud. Wudud is the highest level of love somebody can have. Al-wudud. Or unconditional love, natural love, love that is not influenced by anything, by money, by wealth. You love someone for this because your heart has fallen for them. You genuinely love somebody for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ar-Rahma, mercy. How many wives show compassion towards husbands and vice versa as well? So when these things are missing, especially from the marriage, because the husband and wife, they are the main people in the house. What are the children witnessing? So I touched on domestic violence. Something is gender neutral. And this is happening before the children. And the children are abused and tormented as well. And admonished as well. Publicly, their confidence goes low. And the home is a place where a child is developing physically, mentally, psychologically, spiritually. If he sees no Islam, what is he going to do? What Islam is he going to follow? If he sees no love in the house, what love is he going to give tomorrow when he marries? He's only going to treat his wife the way he saw his father respect his mother. And the same with the daughter as well. If she saw that the wife was disrespecting, or the mom was disrespecting her dad, and she thought that was perfectly normal, then she will do the same as well. She will disrespect her husband as well. And a woman will, according to a number of narrations we have, these are authentic, will not enter Jannah, not even smell the scent of Jannah who disrespects her husband. And it's vice versa as well. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made you hunna libasul lakum wa antum libasul lahun. Allah has made you a libas for her and her libas for you. Libas, something that covers your faults. Meaning you are supposed to integrate, you're supposed to be the backbone for one another. The way you do things, you support one another. And these things are lacking in our homes. And then the children that we are producing, And what are they going out and doing? There's no point blaming other religions and races and etc. We need to look at what we are doing first. What are our children doing? What's happening in our homes first? So the one way to beautify your home is to read and study how the Prophet ﷺ told us to live in our homes. And spiritually, for example, the name of Allah should be said at all times. The most important thing is the name of Allah should be recited in the house. Whether it's somebody praying salah, whether it's somebody praying Quran, whether it's du'as that are being prayed, whether it's giving salam. You come into the house, you come into the home, what do? The first thing is you say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If it's your wife, if it's your children, you walk into the house, you give salam. If your children walk in, train them. They walk in without giving salam, send them back out. And say, child, when you walk into the house, you give salam. Even if you walk into the house and you find there is nobody in the house, what do you say? Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabi wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alayna, Assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi salihin. So even if you find nobody in the house, Assalamu alayna, you give salam to yourself. Wa ala ibadillahi salihin. It's very important. Today, many of us, we complain that there's jadoo done in our house. You find something that this is an object of black magic of ta'weez, and you start looking for Pir Saab to come and rescue, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has rescued us. Allah said, read Surah Al-Baqarah, اقرأوا Surah Al-Baqarah, إن الشيطان لا يدخل بيتا في تقرأ Surah Al-Baqarah, that recite Surah Al-Baqarah, and in a house in which Surah Al-Baqarah is prayed, shaitan cannot enter. Ta'weez, jadoo, all this is related to shaitan. These are satanic things. This is the power of Surah Al-Baqarah that Allah, the Prophet of Allah told us to pray it. We don't pray it. Instead, we want Maulvi Saab to come and pray it. And put some money in Maulvi Saab's pocket. And give him some jalebi and halwa and send him off. This is your home. You are supposed to be worried and concerned about your home. Just like, I'm giving one example, that when somebody wants to make Khatm al-Quran for the ithari thawab of their parents, now the thawab will reach the parent when you read the Quran, because you are the child, and the person in the grave, your father, your mother, they only receive the reward when the child is doing the recitation. We haven't got time. So what do? We go to the masjid. Maulvi Saab, we're making Khatm al-Quran for our dad or mom. Make the children read the Quran. How well do you think those children are going to read the Quran? By their mom and dad hasn't died. Your mom and dad have died. Their parents are alive. You think they're going to read? But it just gives you that satisfaction that, yeah, I've done it. My parent will be happy in his grave that I'm earning dunya and I'm making children read Quran who didn't even know my father or my mother. And at the end of it, send a box of crisps. Samosas, why? Those children will look forward to the crisps and samosas. Quran reading. Which child is so Sufi who's going to read Quran for somebody else's parents? Nowadays, somebody reads Quran for their own parents. That's Nurun ala Nur. So your home should be your concern. You should have worry and fikr for your home. And that is the Prophet ﷺ told us, read Surah Al-Baqarah in your homes. Shaitan will not enter the homes. Give salam in your homes. What is salam? It's a dua. I'm giving assalamu alaikum. I'm saying peace to the people who are living in my house. And may Allah's blessings and rahmah, mercy be upon the people living in my house. So the first thing that we should try to do in order to beautify our homes is to have the name of Allah being mentioned at all times. Salah should be prayed at home. The best salah that is prayed, فَإِنَّ أَفْضَى الصَّلَاةِ صَلَاةُ الْمَرْءِ فِي بِيُوتِكُمْ, is the one that a person reads in his house alone. إِلَّا الْمَكْتُوبَ, except the one which is compulsory, the congregational prayer, because that has to be prayed in the masjid. Other than that, the best salah is the one you pray at home. And mashallah, nurun ala nur, alhamdulillah, subhanallah, tabarakallah. We are seeing now in this lockdown how many men, subhanallah, are praying salah in their homes. Subhanallah. And not only that, their wives are now praying. Their children are now praying as well. Imagine if that is something you did regularly with your sunnah prayers. Because the Prophet ﷺ prayed sunnah at home. He didn't pray sunnah in the masjid. The only sunnah he prayed was tahiyyat al-masjid. Other than that, he led the salah. There's nothing else Prophet ﷺ prayed in the masjid. He prayed at home. The tahajjud was at home. Sunnah was at home. The 2 rak'ah fajr was at home. His witr was at home. Today we pray everything in the house. We leave nothing for the masjid, for our homes. And then we say, why are our children not reading? Why? Because they've not seen anyone reading. The musalla has been closed, folded and closed for so many months. Nobody prayed on it. The Quran has been on the shelf collecting dust. Ramadan comes, wipe off the dust, blow off the dust and start reading, and then put it away, pack it away till next Ramadan. And we say, why are our children not practicing Islam? Why are our children becoming westernized? This is why. They don't see any Islam, or there's not enough Islam in the house. And you see, in a house where Quran is being prayed, Salah is being prayed, alhamdulillah, we have children who will pray Salah. And sometimes, sadly, it doesn't work like that, because you might have parents who are praying, but the children are not praying. This is an imtihan from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's on nights like tonight, if it is Laylatul Qadr, that you should raise your hand and make dua for your children. You are praying yourself, your children are not praying. Pray to Allah. Make dua to Allah. If Allah wants to guide them, Allah will guide them. And to the extent that nobody will misguide them. And once they come to this path, they will never get off this path again. And generally make dua. It's not all about just salah, reading salah. I think nowadays, if children are doing khidmah of their parents, in whatever form, I think this is also a great thing as well. Because we are living in times where our children have become isolated. They don't want to know parents. You say, how is that possible? You'll find out when you get old. When you get old, and they say, oh, it's not our responsibility. The government pays pension. The government will look after it. You have nursing homes. Muslim parents in nursing homes is on a high. More and more of our Muslim elders are going into nursing homes. Why? Because the son has neglected the parents. And as for the daughter-in-law, she says, well, they're not my parents. Or then the daughter, she don't do it because she's saying, well, what about my brothers? They're supposed to be, because they will get all the shares. That's how it works. And this is the reality. Daughters don't look after the parents because they're already upset. They're not going to get any shares. The son, he don't want to know the parents because he's got his own children. And the daughter-in-law, how much is she going to do? So therefore, in order to instill these qualities in our children, we have to teach them Islam. Because these things have come in Islam. These things have been promoted in our Islam. With this, inshallah, we will continue tomorrow, how to beautify our homes. The first lesson, and what we touched on today, is just the importance of having the name of Allah mentioned in your homes, whether it's Salah, whether it's Quran, whether it's the dua when you pray in the house and you leave the house, or when you leave the house, Bismillah, tawakkatu ala hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. So you read that dua, or whether it's giving salam, and like this, inshallah, if you can pray as much Quran as possible also, and the shaitan abstains from our house, all forms of shar, and hasadgi, and jealousy, and jadoo, and kala jadoo, and pila jadoo, and call it what you want, will never enter your homes, because the power of Quran will safeguard your homes. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فجزاكم الله خير والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.